fun begins.
How's it going?
Hello.
Well,
Greetings, young Jedi.
hello there.
Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, and today we are taking a look at the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron ATDP as appears in Star Wars Rebels. This is like a prototype, earlier design of Walker than the AT-ST, more famously known from Return of the Jedi. It's a little bit longer legged, it's a little bit more gangly legged, it's got gecko looking eyes. It was an interesting design pulled basically right from Ralph McQuarrie, which is something the show did very, very well. But it's something that was pretty iconic to the early seasons of the show. When they were fighting the Empire in the early seasons of the show, it was normal TIE fighters, ATDPs, and Imperial troop transports. That is Season 1 of Rebels on Lothal right there for you. So let's go ahead, get into this review, see what we're getting here, and see if this might be a pickup for you. And here's the ATDP in the packaging. We'll take a quick look at it. It is very standard toy packaging, though. Probably nothing will be too life-shattering for you. The packaging style is a bubble on a card style. However, it is a very deep bubble, and mine comes smashed, courtesy of Amazon. Thank you very much. Of course, I'm an opener, so I kind of don't really care, but gonna call it out. Star Wars logo, Star Wars Rebels logo, Series 9 in 2 languages. Pause and read whichever language best applies to you. Star Wars logo, Micro Galaxy Squadron ATDP in silver. 8+, warning, don't choke on it. If you're gonna put it in your mouth, don't choke on it. You have a picture of the pilots going in the cockpit, the 2 pilots included. Love, love, love that. Jazzwares has a history of not giving you enough figures to fill the cockpits. So there's 2 drivers on this vehicle. It's very clear on screen. There are always 2 driving these things. And it is nice that they gave us 2 combat drivers. Thank you, Jazzwares. Big window showing the vehicle off nicely. It's a little scrunched down because of the nature of the box, but we'll stretch it out and get them walking good soon. Around back, you have a trading card, hologram card you can cut out if you choose to do so. You might be one of the only people that does if you do so. Shows you some features of the vehicle, just where the articulation is and that the gun moves and stuff, which is cool. Bunch of pictures of other vehicles in the line. They are Armada issuing the TIE Bomber. Gonna have to grab one of those. And then there is a Saw Gerrera's Z95, a hologram B-Wing, which, who cares? Holograms aren't that exciting. And then the New Republic X-Wing. Actually kind of shocked that's being done as a chase. But good luck to everyone looking for that. Star Wars, Disney, Micro Galaxy Squadron, barcodes, legal stuff. We're not paying attention to any of that, though. Let's open this up, see what we're getting here. So here's the ATDP and the 2 combat drivers out of the packaging. We'll start by taking a look at our drivers. They are 2 identical figures, so just bring one up for the close zoom in. And they look really, really nice, I gotta say. I think the helmet has been captured nicely. It kind of has the bowl effect around a mask that a lot of the Ralph McQuarrie concept art had, and that was, of course, a big inspiration for a lot of the designs in Rebels. He has that kind of gray-blue armor plating for the shoulder pads, chest plate, gloves, and boots, and then a light gray jumpsuit. A little bit of red on the chest, silver on the belt buckle, a little bit of red on the forehead, some little Imperial cogs on the helmet. Just very, very nicely done. Even 2 red dots on the back. Very nice. Little behind-the-scenes thing. I have a lot of friends in the 501st Legion costuming group, and this is a costume that I have genuinely considered doing so I can troop with them, and might make that happen someday, hopefully sooner than later. So that would be a really, really fun figure, or really, really fun costume to have, and be a really fun experience. So maybe we'll make that happen. These figures have swoopable forearms that just come forward and back, and then legs swoop forward as well, letting you put them in a seating position for the operation of the vehicle, which, let me show you how you get in there. The vehicle looks very, very nice. As you see, there are 2 little tabs, and you kind of pry the sides apart, and then you lift up the head. It unhinges its jaw like a snake, and you have 2 seats with 2 control yokes in there. There's not really anything holding these guys in the seats super well. I guess you wedge them in, get in there. A little bit of a tight fit. Maybe the tight fit is what's supposed to keep the figure in there, at least the front one. Yeah, it's definitely a snug fit for the front one. The back one fits a little bit looser, but front one's not going anywhere. Back one, if you play a little rough, he might come loose of his seat. But you see there's a little bit of interior like detailing up on the roof. You close it. You latch those tabs on the sides. Even if they come loose of their seats and they rattle around in there, they're not coming out. Something that I noticed on this that I thought was going to be there, you have that yellow decoing around the hatch. They open the hatch on the top of these like a lot in the Rebels show, and I kind of thought that might be something you'd flip up, maybe put a trooper like poking his head out, which happened a bit in the first season, and it's just not a feature they included here, which is unfortunate, but not the end of the world. I'm ultimately just happy to have the Walker. So, a little bit of yellow going on there, a little bit of black on the top of the head. There's a subtle wash over the entire vehicle, giving it just a little implication of dirtiness. It's not filthy, but it is on a kind of a plains planet, you know, and Lothal's a lot of tall grass and wind, you know, so it's probably getting a little dusty out there. It is what it is. But it looks really nice. Little yellow punch-ins all over, which is show accurate. The head operates on a swivel, which is nice. And then the chin ball turret works on a swivel, hinges up and down too, although the blaster is just slightly warped out of the packaging. We'll get that straightened up. And nice implication of like vents there. The legs articulate at a few points, being up there, there, and at the ankle. This point is static, stationary, and for the most part it works well, except for the middle one, which is kind of the important one. The top shoulder clicks, you know, there's little detents in there. And then this middle one, you hear it ratchets, you know, which usually is a really good thing. I like ratcheting joints, but they're loose, and just because they're in position doesn't mean they're in position. It takes very little to knock it down another click, and I don't like that. I wish they were a little bit sturdier. This is generally their stance, you know, it goes down and then down instead of being like in the box, you know, they were like hunched up like that. They usually, you know, stand a little taller like that. And if this was the only solution here, I kind of wish they had just made it a solid with no articulation, just so you can swing it at the hip. Part of me wants to just throw a dab of super glue in there and call it a day. But then down at the feet, you have detented ankles, so it snaps to a couple of positions, but they are all pretty big steps away from what they are each other. And then the feet, hollow, that one looks nasty in there. It's just a whole bunch of pulled up, you know, blackwash and stuff. But the feet are round and large, and they have these nice big toes on them. And I've noticed that it seems to be the left likes to stay just behind the right. If you flip them around, it just seems to throw the feet a little off kilter. But if you do it like that, they're nice and flat. Probably intentional. And it seems like when the toes touch, it kind of locks things into place. So, yeah, I guess it works out pretty well. Just not really liking that middle of the leg joint. I mean, makes for some fun yoga posing that they don't do in Universe, but just I think I wanted it to be a little more stronger than that, or at that point just fixed. So not super loving that, but I am objectively loving the rest of the thing. It is a very fun adaptation of the vehicle as we know it. Here's the ATDP with basically all of my other Imperial vehicles. I really don't have that many Imperial vehicles, which is something I should probably fix at some point. But for now, it does look very nice there. And of course, being a staple of early Rebels, let's just go ahead and throw in the Ghost with the Phantom 1. And yeah, the Ghost is actually pretty underscaled. The Phantom isn't out of scale too bad, though. Just it's big on the Ghost because the Ghost itself is small. But it does look really nice, flanked by some other vehicles. I think it will look pretty good in any Imperial hangar display you might have going on, or if you're doing a little model Lothal or something, it would look really cool there. Or if you just want a nice version of this Walker to put on your shelf, go for it. So at the end of the day, what do I think of the ATDP? You know, it's pretty good. Objectively, I think it's beautiful. It looks really nice. It's painted how I would want it to be. Sucks that it doesn't have that canopy up top, but not a deal breaker by any stretch. Those middle leg joints suck. That could have been done a whole lot better, and I don't like that it wasn't done better, and those are frustrating, and I probably will glue those solid once I'm done reviewing. I don't like modifying until I'm done with my reviews, but it's just something that I wasn't too keen on, and entirely possible could be a quality control issue. It could be that mine just happens to be defective and maybe they're a little bit better overall, and it doesn't really ruin it for me. It's just like, I just wish they were tighter joints, you know? So if you pick this up, please fire off in the comments below. Are yours tighter at those middle ratchet joints, or is it just a big floppy mess? It could go either way. But I digress. Either way, I am satisfied with this vehicle, and I'm glad I picked it up. It's one of my favorite designs from Star Wars Rebels, and as I mentioned, a costume design for the troopers that I like so much that I think I want to make one for myself, a suit for myself. So that might be something we do in the upcoming new year. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I recommend it, but there are some frustrations. So it's a solid 7. Yep. And that's how I feel about it. Thanks for watching. It means a lot that you did. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that end of video stuff. I will catch you next time. Until then, may the Force be with each and every single one of you. And I hope you all have a great day.